This is going to be a video of my grandmother, Ethel Elbaum, and her sister, my aunt, Gertrude Schisler, and their brother, my uncle, Meyer Schisler. And today's date is July 28th, 1993. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, a beautiful sunny day.
My name is Meyer Schisler. I come from Ciechanova. I'm here in the house of my niece, Miriam Orleans, with her lovely sons, David, who's named after my father of blessed memory, and Jason, the president. To my right is my sister Ethel. She's the oldest one. She bosses me around, and I survived. To my left is my youngest sister, Gertrude. She's pretty good. She behaves herself once in a while.
Okay. All right.
I'm Mickey is my daughter. I'm in Mickey's house, Miriam rather. And my grandson is the one who's taking the pictures. God bless him. I love him. And I like my grandson, Jason, is a little too dark now, but I hope he's going to get white.
Okay, go.
My name is Gertrude, Gittel in Yiddish, and Gitty for short. I'm in Mickey's house with my niece. David is a great nephew. No, wait a minute, great nephew, grandnephew. And so is Jason, my grandnephew, the president, with a beard. But I like him with or without the beard.
I forgot to mention that David is one of my favorite pupils. With him I speak Hebrew, or at least I learned from him how to speak Hebrew. I'll tell you what, and I'm quite proud of his achievement and his success.
Children would really like to know about life in Ciechanova, in Poland. And if you can think back to your childhood and fill them in on some of the details that you remember, or even not details, but general kinds of impressions of Ciechanov.
Oh, Ciechanov was one of the greatest cities. You know, you can tell by your Bobby and your uncle and everybody around us. We had a lot of fun coming to the United States, and we love it.
Something about Ciechanov.
What can I tell you about Ciechanov? If you find it on a map, let me know. It's so big that when a horse and a bugger walked through, the people had to stand on the side. The streets were paved with stones and frequently unpaved. The fun in our youth was so great, all you had is poverty, worry, and lack of opportunities. And by the spite of it, you can see by us that great people came out of it.
What I
What
can.
about the place you lived?
Oh, we lived on 12 Yeselovich. Named after the landlord, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeselovich, one of the
Yeah.
greatest generals in the Polish army.
In the Polish army. I played in the courtyard, with stones, and sliding down the railway. What is it? The stairway.
The railing.
Railings. That was the greatest fun. Or picking up pits and making a stone and making necklaces. And that was our fun. Wasn't that great? No, didn't go to school, of course.
Tell us about the house.
The house was big. It had a big courtyard. It was big. We lived in the rear of the house. in, I don't know who lived in the front, some people. They can tell you better than I.
The house in which we lived had air conditioning, had TV programs, 3V,
A broken stove.
a broken stove, that's right. And it was only heated, actually, it was a stove, was only heated by wood and not
Most of the
coal.
time it fell down.
Coal was
Chimney.
coal was very expensive. What they did is they dried the feces from the animals and mixed it with straw. And I'll tell you, who never smelled anything better should have coal and never be able to smell that kind of thing. We lived in the back of the house, as Gertrude pointed out. It was near the outhouse. I needn't tell you, when that outhouse was cleaned, which was once in a couple of years, I'll tell you what, everybody in town had to have a clothespin to close their noses.
Anything else
Okay.
you want to say about growing up?
Growing up, playing with the spools from the cotton, you know, from the thread.
That's right.
That was our toy. We also picked up a lot of things on the yard, wherever we found. We had a man who he used to cut leather, the top of the shoe, and we picked up the strips. He might have made a whip out of it.
A whip.
Yeah, sure.
He
He
beat
took
you
a
with
nail with a stick of wood, and he hit it to make a whip.
I'm not guilty.
Did you go to school?
No,
No school.
no school.
Mikey?
Uh,
Did you?
And we picked up, there was also a neighbor who had flour. We used to pick up the flour, and the bags used to burst, and we picked up the flour, and we played, we made cake, and all kinds of things. The landlord used to pull me by the hair, because I used to put it in the gutter, and the gutter was stuffed up. He was to pull me away.
Very exciting. Yeah.
I went to Cheder, and you can see what happened. The landlord of the house had fun with Ethel, who was a very pretty little girl. He pulled her hair. That's how I lost my hair. I went to Cheder. The
And I
teachers were,
followed.
the teachers were not great scholars, great learning, but they were pious. There was one man, a very famous rabbi called Avraham Landau, who was called a righteous man, and people from all over the world came for his advice, and also this claimed that he had unusual gifts of power of healing. And many people came with all their troubles. As I was a youngster, I remember they built in Hebrew called an ohel, a tomb around his grave, and people would write notes and drop it down there. And that's what it all. There were no baseball teams, no football teams, no hockey, nothing. And there were no cars. And so therefore, you can roam the streets, the cattle and the people mingled together, and the horses. It was very sociable.
How about some recollections of your parents in Europe? Don't mix it up with recollections of your parents later, but something from Europe, what your mother passed the time of day doing and what your father did.
Well, mother was seeking some places where she can get food for us, left us alone. We were roaming around the street, of course, and having fun like kids do. But when she got home, she tired, and we tried to help her. And that was a great life.
Oh, yeah. And what did
Oh, I
your
agree.
father do?
My father was already, I think, in the United States. Yeah, he left us, seeking a better world.
I was very much attached to my mother of blessed memory. I have no recollection of my father as a child. In my life, my grandfather of blessed memory was everything. When his wife passed away, he moved to his oldest son who lived in Malavo. And I was sick because I thought the whole world was collapsing. My grandfather was everything to me. His name was Gottlob Tamdeiter. Gottlob Tamdeiter. Tamdeiter is a person who he manufactures clothing, ready-made clothing. He was not a custom tailor. And he traveled to the various markets selling his merchandise. I was very much attached to him. When he passed away, my whole world collapsed. But you see, I survived.
But I remember on market day, what we used to do, we wanted to have fun. The farmers used to bring all kinds of food, butter, chickens, eggs, whatever they could sell. So we wanted to, Mike and I don't know if he remembers, we wanted to have fun. And we found a lot of potato peel, whatever we found. And we made packages and we used to hide it. So the farmer used to think that he found some valuable stuff. We had so much fun watching him open the package. And that was our on market day. And I remember my grandfather was also very dear to me. I used to sleep with him, comb his beard. Every day on the attic, he went to sleep for a rest. And he would take me. And I would be in heaven if he let me sleep with him and comb his beard. And he was very dear. He had a cousin who had all kinds of sweet stuff for sale. They call it Kernio. Sweetie, I mean, all the goodies. We couldn't afford to buy it, but my grandfather took me there, and I was very, very little, very young, and he used to treat us with a lot, you know what a lot? Ice cream.
I mentioned that I was very much attached to my grandfather of blessed memory. And I remember as a young child I was so sick that they decided to send me with somebody to go to Malavo to visit my grandfather of blessed memory. On the way to the station, the Poles attacked us. We ran. They threw stones and rocks at us. We finally got into the station. I came to Malavo. And in spite of all the trials and tribulations going through this experience, I was happy that I met with him. He was a kind of a person, when he came back from Warsaw, he brought us little bagels, the small or the miniatures. And he always thought of us. He was a very wonderful human being. Now about to America, what they call the Golden Medina. America to us in Europe meant a land whose streets are paved with gold. All you had to do is come in and pick up the gold, and then you're a rich person. I came in here and I found out that there is a struggle. There are people who are poor, but in spite of it all, it offered us great opportunity. Our family was united. We stuck together. We worked together, and we managed it. Whatever we had, all of us shared.
Anything you want to add? Actually, where did you go first to New York, Ellis Island?
You know, we came to Ellis Island. No, and I was kept back because I was underweight, and they put me in a hospital for about a week, which means the family could not go on to the United States until I was released. And I was released after a week. They fed me whatever they did to, I should gain weight, and then we went on.
Do you remember how old you all were when you arrived?
I don't know.
Were you
7, 8, younger, and teenagers.
And so then you immediately went to Chicago?
Yeah, we went, after that we went to New York, no? But to New York, and from New York we came to
Hi, Ellis
Chicago.
Island, I forgot about.
Yeah, Ellis Island, wonderful place.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
But I'd rather stay here.
Okay, maybe Bobby wants to say something.
We were in London and my mother was very brave. She met a man, we were all 30, and she couldn't speak English. And she saw a man going to school. And she says, we are immigrants. We have to wash. I have to wash my children to keep clean. We're going to the doctor. So he said, well, I know the hotel you're in. On the way home, when I come from school, I take you to my house. And he did. He stopped by and took us all. He gave us something to eat. He also was very, very kind. And he helped. You know, we should have hot water in the hotel. He spoke for us. My mother was very brave. She went in all over to help us. I mean, forever, you know, things had to happen because we had to have doctor's examinations.
We were 4 children who came to the United States. A mother of blessed memory was a very brave woman, and she was aggressive. Had she come here as a child, she would have made something of her life. Ethel was the oldest. I was the second. Nettie of blessed memory, who unfortunately died of cancer at a very young age. She was also very brave and very courageous, and she would have made something of herself too, had she been in good health and she had the opportunity. She worked in a bakery. At a time when we had no food, she would bring rolls that were dried, that could not be sold, so we could keep body and soul together. That's about all I got to say to add something. What else?
Wonderful youth.
Something in Yiddish?
Well,
On
Yiddish.
Yeah, say something in Yiddish.
We all spoke Yiddish, of course. Our parents didn't know English.
When did you start learning English?
When we went to school, when we started. When we started. And I, with the blessed memory of Nettie, I was very close. We went to school. Of course, she's in a higher grade. We worked together for a while until she took sick, and I miss her very much.
Say something in Yiddish, something, because give us a saying in Yiddish or something. There's always a saying, there's always a sponge cake saying or something.
Well, I know my mother was trying to learn English very fast. She was very aggressive, and she wanted to know English. And she always asked, how do you say it in English? And she tried to do the best she could. And she always did make her way because she was very, very kind, very aggressive. She always had the obligations of taking care of everything. We had a very hard life. But my mother had the whole family. My grandmother lived in the United States. I had 2 uncles, Uncle Velvel, Uncle Sheila Leip, and Stella. Got, you know, blessed her memory, and her Shana Feigo. That was a sister to my mother. We had a big family. My mother had all her cousins. Everybody was in the United States. And they have tried to help us as much as it was possible. But when we moved in to the first apartment, we all slept on the floor.
Okay, let's find out.
Find out where you came to live in Chicago, if you remember the location, the address, who you lived with, about being reunited with your father and what he was doing here in the States.
When we came to Chicago, my father of blessed memory, who was a tailor, he lived with some people by the name of Fishman, who was a butcher. And we stayed 1 week with them. They were very nice people, and they made us feel comfortable until we found an apartment. It's a big, great apartment, 831 South Hermitage Avenue. We bought there. There he bought the furniture too. I didn't tell you the bed was full of bed bugs. In fact, as I remember, one time I was taking chemistry, or by that time I brought home some ether. I put all the bed bugs to sleep with ether. After I thought they would die. After a while, they recuperated. They did their work. Anyway, it was a struggle, but in spite of it, this was our first apartment, 831. It was right near Cregier School, which was a walking distance. That's from where I graduated elementary school. Then we moved in to Douglas neighborhood, which was exclusively Jewish in those years. And
where did you live in Douglas Park?
Douglas Park, we lived in two places, 1509 South St. Louis and 1531 South St. Louis, and 16-something St. Louis, all on St. Louis, because we liked the Saints so much.
Okay, Giddy, tell us, what was it like in Douglas Park?
Oh, Douglas Park was really the neighborhood for Jewish people. It was not a ghetto, but it was really a wonderful neighborhood. Most of people, friends, everybody had friends in there. We used to go to Douglas Park on Friday night late, sing, and all the friends would gather there. It was really fun. We went to school. I went to Holland.
Holland Elementary?
The Holland Elementary. And from there, where did I go? I went to Harrison High School.
And were there many different synagogues, many different types of Jews?
Synagogues in every corner, 3, 4 on a block. And the choice, whatever you wanted to go, was a Romanian, the JPI had all the activities, dancing in classes and anything your heart desired. Saturday night, there were concerts which we enjoyed on the roof garden, and that was really beautiful. There is nothing like it anymore.
In spite of the fact that it was so crowded, and there were a tremendous number, it was a cultural center of Jewish life. Of course, everybody had air conditioning there, so on hot days, everybody slept on Douglas Boulevard, right down the street. There was no fear. You could go out any time of the day, any time at night. People slept on the stairs, in the street, in between.
What year? What year? 19?
Oh, I figure it was, I can't remember exactly the years, I can't remember.
I lived on Albany, and we used to go across the street to the park with with Mickey and Shay and Sandy.
That was Albany, it was Albany Park. No, we're not talking.
One at a time.
How did it become so rich? Well, this is the story. While I was in high school, I used to travel to a man who sold toys. I think his store is still in existence. He's not alive. Called Brody. They sold all toys. He imported all toys from Japan, China, all over the world. He had a big, big store that sold balloons, birdies, you name it. And I used to go there and pick up some stuff, little dolls, brought them home with 2 cases in my hands on a streetcar. I paid 7 cents fare. Brought them home. At night after supper, we all sat down and we diapered, put on the little diapers, and we put a little nipple bottle in the dolls. And these were sold at picnics. On Sunday morning, at 5:30 in the morning, I would get up with a man who sold toys on all picnics, and we traveled. And we came to those picnics, and I worked from about 5 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night, and I think I got the big salary of $5. From that, we are, you know, he and I see invested the $5 and became a multimillionaire. With each $5, we brought home and we shared, bought bread, milk, whatever we needed, the necessities of life. We all worked. We all did to earn an extra dollar. I went to high school, studied after that, went to the yeshiva, started yeshiva. My mother of blessed memory thought I would become a rabbi. I thank God every day that I didn't. I became secretary of a condominium, which is a very paying good job. You see how we managed to survive.
Did he tell about some of your jobs?
What did you do?
Jobs? I don't know what I started first. I really don't know. I don't remember. Honestly.
I supported you.
Could be. I really don't
Ethel did
know.
all the work.
Okay.
But I worked with Nettie, my sister, one who passed away. We worked for a while. It was in advertising, and we did a lot of typing. We learned how to type, and we did a lot of typing. And the typewriters were not like we have today. We used to go home with bleeding fingers at the end of the day. But we left that and we were seeking for something better.
I might as well point out, while I was a student at yeshiva, one of the things that God blessed me with was a fairly nice voice. I'm not a Pavarotti, as you probably know, but in many of the small towns, they needed young men to conduct services for the high holy days, to be able to chant the service, to read the Torah, and deliver a small talk. So I used to go from town to town, and I earned a few dollars, and you see how wealthy I am.
And the money that he earned, his first few dollars, he bought me a wristwatch. I was very, very proud of it. To have such a good brother, the first thing to do, instead of buying something for himself, he bought me a watch. And we all struggled. We had anything that came along to make a dollar, we did. And we saved every penny. We bought a piano. And that was one of the greatest things. I didn't take no piano lessons, but I always liked music. And I always used to pick up the tone and play and sing. And we always were happy. We were very happy to stay together because my mother was proud of us because we were always happy people because we made it.
There is something about our family. Shani, Mimi, Sandy, the grandchildren, we all love them. We're just a part of us. And I don't know what we can do for them that are now growing up, but we want you to know, for posterity, how a family that struggles and sticks together can survive against all odds.
And children, and my husband, he was one of the most devoted grandfather. He loved everybody. When you were born, David, he was the happiest one to have a name for my father and his father. And when Jason was born, we were the happiest one that he was a wonderful child too. And we loved everybody. Our life was only to be together with the children. Everybody should be happy and do whatever we could.
I want to know how close together we are. To this very day, my sisters always make beblach for me on Thursday. And I'll tell you what, beblach are lima beans. And I'll tell you what, no matter how bad Ethel may be feeling, but she manages to prepare beblach because she knows I like them. And so for every Shabbos I got beblach. And I go there not to take her shopping, but I have to collect my beblach.
Wait, let Giddy say something.
I don't know what to say.
Say, I don't know what. Basha, they will.
Oh, yeah. How can I put that?
No.
No, I'm not going to. No, it's foolish. No, I went to work for the Federation and worked 29 years. Unfortunately. You know, no, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad, believe me. It wasn't that bad. And I was within a Jewish atmosphere. I was able to continue to observe the Sabbath, and that gave me satisfaction.
Okay, now. Okay.
שמי מאיר, על יד ימיני יושב דוד, על השמאל יושב ג'ייסון.
יעקב.
יעקב בעברית, כן?
כן.
ושמך בעברית מה?
דוד.
דוד, זה יפה מאוד. להם יש שמות עבריים, זה נכון. עכשיו אני רוצה לאמור שאני מתגאה בבני אחיינית שלי. ודוד בא בכל שבת לביתי, והוא לומד עברית והוא מדבר עברית יפה מאוד, ואני מתגאה בו. אתה רוצה ללמוד דבר דוד בעברית? בבקשה.
עכשיו אני לא מדבר עברית טוב. תודה רבה, אבל יש לי הרבה עבודה לעשות, ללמוד כמו מישהו שיודע עברית טוב ביותר. גם יעקב הוא לומד עברית באוניברסיטה של אילינוי. אני צריך ללמוד הרבה עברית בשנים הבאות. אני רוצה להיות בישראל בשנה הבאה, ואני רוצה לדבר עברית שם.
אני בטוח שזה דבר שם עברית. אני בטוח שזה דבר שם עברית. שם תהיה לך את ההזדמנות לדבר עברית עם כל האנשים. וגם אתה רוצה לדבר עברית עליי, בבקשה לבוא עמו ביום שבת הבא, ואם תשלם בת השיעורים, אני אלמד אותך. אם לא...
Shalom. Yes, you did. The red light's on. That means Shalom. זאת היה הווידאו של המשפחה שלנו, של המשפחה אלבאם, שיסלר ואורלינס. הם מאירופה, ועכשיו כל המשפחה בארצות הברית. עכשיו אני רוצה לדבר לכל המשפחה והדורות הבאות. אולי אתם ידעו לדבר עברית לא כמו אני, יותר טוב כמו אני. ואנחנו שמחים עכשיו כי יש לנו משפחה טובה ונחמדה ויפה. תודה, להתראות, שלום.